Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a feeling of calm, resourceful relaxation. And as you exhale, just get a sense that tension, perhaps stress, perhaps worries are leaving your body on the outward breath. With your eyes closed, notice that you can give more of your attention to my voice. And as you breathe in and breathe out, notice that with each outward breath, it feels that things that are no longer necessary are leaving your body. There might be tension around your eyes, your jaw. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling on the outward breath, perhaps you can get a sense that that tension is leaving your body on your outward breath, enabling you to go deeper and deeper, relaxed. That's right. As your physical body relaxes and you can position your body in any way to make you even more comfortable. That's right. Just get a sense that as you continue to breathe in and breathe out, as your body relaxes, your mind opens up a portal to your subconscious mind. You have the conscious mind, which is everything you're aware of, and then the subconscious mind, which, until you think about these things, typically is where your beliefs, memories, fears, but also everything you've learned, your wisdom is there in your unconscious mind. And sometimes we don't even know what's buried there in our unconscious mind until something comes along and takes that unconscious trigger and moves it into the present. And then suddenly we're aware. And although we might be aware of how we're feeling, most people don't realize that if you do something different in response to one of these unconscious triggers, as it goes back into the unconscious mind, it changes slightly, so the next time you're triggered, it creates a different response. Isn't that what hypnosis is? Taking what's in the subconscious or unconscious mind, bringing it into conscious awareness just long enough to make a change. And when that change is made, before long, because your conscious awareness is focused on so many different things, that change then drifts back down into the subconscious mind. And it stays there, changed, giving you the ability to evolve your life in profound and positive ways. Continue to breathe in and breathe out and use the power of your imagination to imagine a beautiful Caribbean island. Not a busy one, not a big one, perhaps a remote one. All it really has is beaches, palm trees, and a tiny port, maybe a pier, with just a single boat. And if you can imagine seeing that island and that boat. Just let me know by nodding your head. I want you to get a sense that on the surface of it, this island looks like paradise. Except there is one person on this island. And you voluntarily chose to spend years on this island, and what you thought was a paradise turned out not to be. And you now realize that you made a decision to leave that island and to climb onto a boat. Except the boat never left the port. The boat is attached to the port by a thick nautical rope. I want you to imagine you're now standing on the boat, maybe a luxurious boat. And you can see that rope attached to a heavy metal post there on the pier, on the port. And somewhere on that island, just know, is someone that you don't want to have any control over your life anymore. And just picture them on that island as you become aware of the sound of the waves on this island. I want you to imagine that it's not just this island that currently you're attached to, but some of the beliefs that you created while you were spending time on the island. And that's natural. We create beliefs that are useful for moments in our life, and quite often when the moments of our life change, we still hold on to those beliefs as if they're true. As a child, perhaps, for many years you believed in Father Christmas and tooth fairies. And wasn't it true that that excitement, that surprise of seeing a coin under a pillow or a half-eaten mince pie and carrot, that excitement was real, even if the belief that it was based on was false? And I wonder what else you're believing that is not true and is not useful. I want you to imagine there you are on that boat, looking at the island. And I want you to imagine that there is a belief that feels like it's in you, a belief that my ex is still controlling me whenever he's in close proximity. And if you believe that to be true currently, let me know by nodding your head. And then just imagine reaching inside yourself, pulling out that belief and sending it far onto the island. And once it's there, far onto the island, perhaps a mile or so away from where you are, just let me know by nodding your head. And I wonder how it would feel to believe something else. I wonder how it would feel if you believed that your ex has little to no impact in your life whatsoever. And even if he does turn up, just know that you can handle it. As you then say that again, inside your own mind, in the first person, my ex has little to no impact in my life whatsoever, and I can handle it. Be conscious of that tonality. Make the inner dialogue of that belief resourceful, strong. Think of these other things that have virtually no impact in your life. In autumn, leaves fall from the tree, and you can say categorically that leaves falling from the tree has little to no impact in your life whatsoever. And even if there are some leaves in your garden or your driveway, you can handle them. Imagine your ex has just that little impact. And as you say that to yourself, allow that belief to take root deep inside you. And when your unconscious mind has accepted that this is more useful than perhaps what you were believing before, just let me know by nodding your head. That's right. I want you to think of situations in the future where perhaps your ex might have some kind of involvement, and I want you to feel incredibly resourceful. Feel that that statement that you can handle it is true. That even if he does have some kind of involvement, in the big scheme of things, it has little to no impact in your life whatsoever, and you can handle it. And as your unconscious mind gets a sense that because you're increasing resourcefulness, that not only is this a useful thing to believe, but it's also true. Just let me know by nodding your head. That's right. And then I want you to scan your body for another belief. Perhaps the belief that I have limited choices because of my ex's reaction or response. If that feels true right now, just let me know by nodding your head. Again, reach inside yourself. Imagine finding that belief wherever it is for you. Maybe your heart, your head, your guts, somewhere. Imagine reaching into yourself and taking it out, propelling it somewhere on that island that it can't get to you again. And when you're convinced it's no longer inside you, let me know by nodding your head. And then let's just imagine a new belief in the very same location. Think of that location where the old belief is, and then let's plant a new belief that I'm free to make whatever choices I want, and I can handle the consequences. Maybe the emotion feels different, maybe excitement, adventure. Make the tonality inside your own mind strong, powerful, and excited. I'm free to make whatever choices I want, and I can handle the consequences. When it sounds useful to you to believe that, plant it there in the very location that old belief used to be. And when it's there and it's starting to take root, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And then think of your future, about some of those choices you might want to make. Perhaps choices you've been putting off, and now you feel you're free to make those choices. And that doesn't mean you have to be selfish or never consider it, but just know that you're free to make the choices that you want. Your choices aren't limited, but the quality of your decisions will be a reflection of your dreams and your past. And your past has the treasure of wisdom to enable you to make choices that serve you rather than trap you, to make your life better, not worse. And if you also believe that there is treasure in your past, wisdom in your pain, let me know by nodding your head. And sometimes you'll think about your past, but whereas before it might make you angry or upset, now you'll be treasure hunting for the lessons of your past. The emotional intensity will reduce massively because you're now someone on a mission. You want to find the treasure in that wisdom, the treasure from that trauma. And here's the good news. Whenever you find a gold coin or a precious gem from your past, that's you taking ownership of your pain, having it work for you rather than against you, enabling you to make better choices than ever before. I want you to get a sense that throughout life, sometimes we criticize ourselves for making bad choices, but if a choice is made from a place of love, adventure, freedom, and it turns out to be the wrong decision, you're left with an experience, and that experience enables you to make better choices in the future. So if you now believe, and not just believe that it's useful, but believe that it's true, that you are free to make whatever choices you want, and you can handle the consequences, let me know by nodding your head. Because either you win or you learn. Either things turn out the way you want, or you become wiser for the experience. And I want you to scan your body for one final belief. The belief that I can't move on with my life yet. If it feels like this feels like it's true, even if it isn't, just let me know by nodding your head. Again, reach inside yourself, scan the location for this belief. Reach inside yourself, pull this belief out, and hurl it to a different place in that island. You're safely on the boat. This belief is now far away, perhaps behind palm trees or forests, very far away. I want you to get a sense that you're considering a new belief, an empowering belief, a belief that will unlock freedom and adventure. Entertain the idea of believing that right now is my time to live my life on my terms. And if that feels like it's an exciting, adventurous, juicy belief to have, just let me know by nodding your head. And then I want you to think what this would mean for you and your choices. You putting yourself first, still considering other people, but if you believe that we live once, that time waits for no man, then to put off living your life for ifs and maybes means sacrificing your very life. That would be the equivalent of choosing to leave an island that you've been spending 20 years on and just staying in the port. And imagine there's other magical islands to be explored, and yet here you are, still attached to that port, still kind of attached to the island. So if you believe that right now is my time to live my life on my terms, then I want you to imagine unwrapping that nautical rope from the boat to enable the boat to detach from these old beliefs, your ex, even the emotions of the past. You can still access the knowledge, but they won't affect you in the same way because it will feel like they're far away now. And if you're ready to do that or have already done that, just let me know by nodding your head. There we go. And notice that the boat is getting further and further and further away from the island. Those beliefs, those old beliefs you used to have are just as ridiculous as believing in Father Christmas and tooth fairies. You know at some level you used to believe them, but you don't believe them now. Instead, you believe that your ex has little to no impact in your life whatsoever, and you can handle it anyway. That you're free to make whatever choices you want, and you can handle the consequences. But most importantly, you believe that right now is my time to live my life on my terms. And if these things now feel that they're not just ideas, but beliefs, convictions that you have, enabling you to start a new chapter in your life, to pursue new adventures and destinations, let me know by nodding your head. That's right. But there's a surprise. There is someone else on this boat with you. I want you to see a version of you from your past, before this toxic relationship, a time when you had passion, adventure, confidence and fearlessness. This is your navigator. There is treasure in the past, there's treasure in pain, but there's also treasure in the wonderful times of your life when you felt strong. And she's giving you a gift. And the gift is all of these resources that she had in abundance are now what you need to navigate your future, Perhaps you can imagine it as a glowing ball of energy. She passes it from her to you, and imagine placing it in the location that feels right, maybe your chest, your gut, your head, or somewhere else. But feel that those resources now exist within her and you, in the same way that if one candle lights another candle, it doesn't extinguish the first candle. Your navigator has these resources, and so do you. You have that belief, that courage. You're willing to be responsible for your life, but in doing so, you accept that other people are the only ones responsible for their life. When you hold that to be true, doesn't it protect you from any guilt or blame that other people choose to do? That's on them, not you. As you turn around and see that island very far away now, you can see all the possibilities of all these other Caribbean islands. And you might choose to stay on one of these Caribbean islands, and maybe it's a paradise you want to stay forever. But you still have the boat, and you still have the courage. You still have the belief that you can make whatever choices you want, and you can handle the consequences. So at any point in the future, if you want to leave an island to pursue a different island, you can. You're never trapped on any one of these islands. You have choices. And it's different when you choose to spend time on an island than if you're stranded on an island. And I want you to get a sense that for maybe 20 years that you were stranded on that island, the boat was there all along. But on one day you had the courage to leave the island and climb the boat. And now you've had the courage to detach the boat from the port. And this is when your life truly starts now. To enable you to, right now, live your life on your terms. Because this is your time. And if you believe that to be true, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to get a sense that the future is exciting but not guaranteed. Full of hope and optimism, but nobody knows the storms on the horizon. All you need to know is that you've got the resources to handle them. When the storms come, you're better prepared now than ever before, but also you have what it takes to get through them. And whenever there's a storm, there is always sunshine that follows, and your future is bright, full of hope, full of optimism, with a sense of freedom and adventure. But now it's time to leave this boat, this island. All thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, dreams within dreams. And actually, I want you to get a sense that you're listening to my voice firmly in the present. Feel yourself back in your body listening to my voice now. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, get a sense that you're in your own physical body right now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, you will feel resourceful, confident, ready for that new chapter in your life. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.